everybody, it's Tas, and welcome back to my channel. Today, we are building Tommy Pickle's house from the Rugrats. I was inspired to do this build because I often will play YouTube videos in the background while I am editing or filming videos or doing whatever I'm doing. And it's usually on autoplay, so it'll just play whatever it thinks that I want to see. And recently, it's been recommending me these things, and they're probably totally illegal, but they will do these little live streams, and they're called like 24-hour live streams, and they're usually playing a cartoon. And one that used to get recommended to me all the time was South Park, and I would play that one at night until I figured out that they are actually playing it on a loop. So they kind of make it look like you are going to be able to watch like 20 or so episodes, or that they're going through an entire season, but they're really just playing like the same 4 episodes on loop over and over again. So once you watch whatever is being looped, you're done. And I think because I watched that one so often, it started to recommend me other things. So it auto-played a Fairly Odd Parents 24-hour live stream. And I think because it played that one, it recommended that I watch full episodes of All Grown Up on YouTube. And at the end of one of the episodes, which was wicked distracting, by the way, because I was trying to film videos, but at the same time I was like, oh man, All Grown Up, I really want to watch this. So at the end of one of the episodes, Chucky's dad was like yelling at him, and it zoomed out on the town, and I remembered, oh my god, their houses are totally iconic. I should build one of them in The Sims. So of course I had to start with Tommy's house, and I do plan on doing some of the other houses. I already have one recorded as of doing this video, so stay tuned for tomorrow. Hopefully that video will be up for you guys. It's not whose house you would think it is. I'm going to say that right now because I made a little bit of a mistake, but I'm going to talk about it in tomorrow's video instead of this one. So you guys, I have been actually playing The Sims, and I really don't have time to play The Sims, honestly, because I have a really busy social life. I'm on a pit crew. Racing is a big part of what I live and breathe. Obviously, if you watch my channel, you know that. We have shop nights where we have to work on the race car. I have a lot of personal stuff going on right now. My sister might be coming to stay with me for a while, and I've just been really, really busy. So I really don't have time to play the game. As awful as that sounds, I have enough time to film videos and not really enough to play. And the other day, I was working on stuff, and you know what? I just kind of like got burnt out, and I was like, I'm not going to force anything. So I went to go relax and immediately got bored. And I was kind of like looking around my house, and I was like, what can I do? Like, I don't usually have time to myself to like pick out something like, oh, what can I do? And I looked over at my computer, and I was like, you know what? Let's play The Sims, because I haven't played The Sims in so long, and I feel like it's not even fair that I'm a Sims YouTuber and I like don't get to play the game. So I loaded up the game, and if you can see in the front of this house, I have Scarlet Witch standing out front from my Marvel Ladies video that came out yesterday, which will be linked at the end of this video if you missed it already. And I was like, she's beautiful. I'm going to redo her, rename her. I'll use like the Sim body. So I put a bunch of different outfits on her, and I threw her into one of my houses that I built last week on my channel, my No CC houses, and I picked the one that was built from in the city. And I redesigned it because it's like a family home, so I redesigned it so that it was a little bit more modern and more good for like one sim. And I really loved it. And I was like, you know what? I'm just going to play and see what happens and see like what I can find to do, because I don't have MC Command Center in my game. And really, I feel like if you want to play The Sims, you really, really need MC Command Center, just because there's a lot more that happens if you put that in. So I was like, I'll just play, see what happens. And within a couple of minutes, I realized that my sim was a soulmate sim. That was her aspiration. She wants to find a soulmate. So I was like, wouldn't it be funny and kind of fun if I made it so that my sim is only friends with male characters? So every male sim that approaches her basically becomes her friend. And female sims, she's mean and nasty too. So she like fights every female sim. So all of her like good relationships and connections are male. And just because it's fun, I just think it's something different. It was something I thought up on the spot. And since she has the soulmate aspiration, I thought, wouldn't it be fun to try and get her to be more of like a serial romantic? So I wanted to see how many relationships I could get her in at the same time, because I've never seen anybody try to do that. Like, I don't know what happens, especially because if you think about it, serial romantics would live for that kind of a LP, but a soulmate sim, they just want to find one and like be done with it. So I was like, let's do the opposite of what she wants and just see what happens. Just see like how the sim reacts, basically. So I started to go through the system where if I found a male character and I really, really liked them, I would edit them in full cast mode and kind of induct them into my club officially by like redesigning them in my very like Sims style. And that was how I would know who was like officially on the friends list and who wasn't, because Sims that I had fixed to look like mine were going to be like, you would know. And I was really, really having a lot of fun with it. Like, so much fun that I didn't want to go to sleep. And I kind of like kicking myself in the ass for it, because now I want to play. And it's like, I have stuff to do. I have so much stuff to do. I have to film videos, and I really can't play during the day. I don't get that time very often. So it's like, man, I probably shouldn't have done that, because now I just want to like not do anything and just like play the game, but I really have to film. So I think that that is like such a fun thing. And I was thinking, I don't know, and I don't want to like throw this out there because I do so much on my channel. Like, if you really look at how many series I have on my channel, and a couple that are on hold because I just feel like I take on so much, I think at some point, and I'm not going to say like in the near future or like put a timeline on it at all, but I think it would be fun to do a series where I took Sims and made them do the opposite of their aspiration just to see what would happen. Like, if an evil Sim who wants to be like king of mischief or whatever like the evil trait is, whatever their aspiration goals are, do the opposite and make them like wicked nice and going around and helping all sorts of people, and just see what happens. Because I feel like people play The Sims like very black and white, very literally. It's like, this is what your Sim wants, so let's give it to them. But I don't see a lot of things where it's like, this is what your Sim wants, let's try and see what happens if we never give it to them. Like, do they die? I don't know. So I thought that it would be like maybe a fun little Let's Play series, but again, like, I have other things going on in my channel right now that I don't even like do anymore because I want to. They just require a lot of time, and one of them is my Sailor Moon Let's Play, and I definitely still fully intend to get that back up and going. It's just that like, I'm still not over my beginning of the just moving phase where you like are in a brand new apartment and there's a lot of stuff going on. I'm still in that phase, so I'm like not ready to move into it yet. And like I said, I have a lot of personal stuff going on right now, so I just don't have the time. Literally, I don't. Because I think what people don't understand is that a lot of like a video like this where I'm building something and then I do a voiceover, it basically takes about half as much time as a video with face cam. A video with face cam, I would have to set aside probably 3 or 4 hours to edit. And that's a large chunk of time. Like 3 or 4 hours to edit is probably 2.5, maybe 3 videos on a good day. So I can pump out videos like this a lot faster, and whereas I'm a daily uploader or so, like, I don't know, sometimes I don't upload on Sunday just because it doesn't work out. I can get videos out a lot faster if I don't do face cam. But for a Let's Play, I want to do face cam because it's very personal, and I feel like it's a lot more entertaining if you have a person to kind of look at for different things, like if they reactions, I guess you could say. So I still totally intend to do it, but it's definitely on hold for right now. And even just like doing houses like this, I did the outside of the house and I was absolutely dreading doing the inside of the house. Like, that was why when I did my other series where I built tiny homes, I decided to do tiny homes because the insides literally take like 5 minutes to decorate. When you do a full-size house, I kind of dread the interior design, especially in a house like this. And I want to make this very clear because this house is not supposed to be aesthetically pleasing on the inside. It's very 90s. The colors are all mismatchy. And for this house in particular, I went off of literal pictures of the inside of Tommy's house, as many as I could possibly find. And when people draw cartoons, obviously they're going to use lots of bright colors and kind of crazy things that you wouldn't normally put together in a normal house because it's better to look at from a cartoon standpoint. But from like a design aspect, it doesn't really all work very nicely. So if you don't like the way that I paired pink walls with blue carpet, I don't either. But this is how the house actually looks, and it makes sense depending on like what the actual thing is. And I have talked about this before in like, I did the Powerpuff Girls house, and I had a similar thing where the girls' room was all pink. And it didn't look great, but that's how it's drawn. So I'm just trying to be accurate. So again, everything you're seeing in this house, not necessarily my taste, but very accurate to the images that I can find. And what I find about like these old series, especially like 90s cartoons, they're not very consistent. So it's always a struggle to kind of keep up with whatever is the most relevant. So I actually went with a lot of pictures for All Grown Up rather than the Rugrats, just because the Rugrats was so inconsistent across the board with like colors and placement. So whereas All Grown Up was a little bit more in the 2000s, so it was a lot more consistent. They figured out like how the layout of the house would go and everything. And absolutely no pictures of Dee Dee and Stu's room, by the way. So I just kind of made up whatever I wanted. And it literally was all about like, I would go through and just throw things in the room. I'm like, yep, that works. I don't care. Like, because it doesn't seem to me like whoever drew this house or designed this house really cared about what it looked like on the inside, to be quite frank. So I didn't either. And I was just like kind of throwing random things in there. Because again, like, I don't think in the 90s people really cared about interior design as much, and it's very different. Like, there used to be this show called Trading Spaces, and I was obsessed with it when I was younger. And basically, like, two people would switch houses for a week, and the other group would design a room in the opposite person's house. So it was usually like two families or two like people who knew each other. They would trade houses for a week, and then each person or each group would design the other person's living room or bedroom. And recently I was watching some of it, like, on TV, and every room that they designed, I thought was horrible. I hated everything. There was not one episode that came out where I was like, wow, that's a nice looking room, or that's a nice looking living room. But back in the day, I remember watching the show all the time and thinking, wow, those houses look great, those living rooms look great, like, it looks amazing. And the design elements of, like, modern era, like, right now, are so different than what used to be back then. So something that was designed in the 90s may have looked really nice then, but obviously it's very outdated right now. So that's kind of my thought process behind designing this house, and I hope that you guys kind of agree with me. But if you like this house, it'll be available for download on the gallery under my origin ID, theallegedsimmer, all one word, and CC links will be available over on my Tumblr page. So you can check me out over there for the CC links, link down below. Thank you guys all so much for watching. All of my social media is going to be linked down in the description box below. You can check me out on everything and anything. If you enjoyed this video, please like and share it because it really helps me out. Hit that little bell icon below, turn on post notifications so you can get updated every single time that I post. Also, if you enjoyed this video, you should subscribe. I do stuff like this all the time. Thank you all so much for watching, and I will talk to you all next time.